Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. James Hicks here from Hicks New Media and Infotainment News. I have a incredibly special guest with me today. I have Miss Ileane Smith. Ileane is a digital content creator who focuses on providing tips and best practices for people looking to more effectively utilize digital media. I figure everywhere I go online, I see Miss Ileane. So that being said, I just had to get her on the show so we can talk. I'm just going to bend her ear for about 30, 40 minutes and get some tips and some best practices. Y'all sit down, relax, and let's get it in. Here we go. We got it going. Ileane, how you doing?
I'm doing well and happy new year. And
Thank
oh my goodness, it's just been so awesome to connect with you. And
Yes.
I picked my word for 2021, and my
Okay.
one word is collaborate.
I like that. Okay. Okay.
So
Well, it's day two and we collaborate.
I'm starting with you. Yes, you're the first.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Look, first and foremost, thank you again for taking some time out of your schedule. As I said in the intro, look, everywhere I go, there's Miss Ileane. So we have to connect. We have to have a conversation because our paths intersect quite a bit in terms of I think our passion, and that passion being either helping folks, being online, digital strategy, digital media, and just building community, right? And I definitely see that in everything that I've been watching you for a while. Look, I've been lurking in the background for a minute, and I said I finally let me get Miss Eileen on camera here. I'm glad we were actually talking earlier today. We were on a live stream with Christian, talking with StreamYard, talking about again helping folks. I saw you in the chat, so I said I'm glad we talking today for sure, for sure.
Yes.
So tell the folks a little bit about you. Give your quick elevator pitch to the audience.
Okay, I'll tell you what I say when I start my live streams, because one of
Mhm.
the things that I really love to do, I love to live stream. And usually when I start my streams, or even if it's a pre-recorded video, I'll say, hello, beautiful people. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, or if you're non-binary. We all have this beautiful message inside of us. Although I know some of you may be fearful of the technology, or you may not be confident in front of the camera, but that's my job. My goal is to help you learn which buttons to push so you can get that beautiful message out there and to people who need to hear it, because you may change someone's life.
I love that. I love that. That sums up, I think, why many of us do this, right? It's not about us, right? It's about building the community. It's about finding some way of maybe helping, motivating, or inspiring folks. I mean, the three things that. So your word for the year is collaborate. I'm focusing on enlightening, entertaining, and educating. All right, so
Awesome.
those are going to be kind of the tags for this year. We'll see how we do, but I'm going to start off on a good foot for sure. Um, Talk to us a little bit about the the tools that you utilize, right? So you've got a phenomenal and significant following, like on YouTube and also on your website, and then kind of the Facebook digital marketing that you do, and kind of the tips and tools. But Talk to us a little bit about what's a day in the life of Ileane Smith in terms of again, pushing out that message. Huh? I mean, did I open a can of worms with that
No,
one?
no, 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 no. I like the way you put it. I like the way you put it. But I'll start off by saying, this is a lot of these things are opportunities that all of us have as content creators, because I really started off years ago. Like in 2009, I started blogging, and then I quickly decided that I wanted to start doing YouTube because I was watching one of my online mentors. Her name is Lisa Irby, and she did this video. And I was researching WordPress versus Blogger. Oh, this is 2009, guys, right? And I looked at, and I just kept saying, oh my gosh, I want to be like that. But I was afraid at first. I mean, even my profile picture, it was just like part of my face. And, I didn't want to put myself out there. And then just as time went by, and after I did start my blog, I realized that people didn't want to hear some of the things that I was talking about. Like I thought I was going to talk about music and life and love and all this little stuff. But when I did a tutorial, people were like, giving me comments, asking me questions, feedback. And it was like, well, not only does my audience like this, I like doing it. So that's how I found my sweet spot. And so, of course, I still, want to talk about life and love and music and all that, but I just don't do it, that much on the live streams.
I love that. Right. And so instead of trying to boil the ocean, right, you find something that you're passionate about and your audience is curious about. And that's where you've had kind of that whole hockey stick growth, right? Just amazing in terms of people that follow you and people that listen to your message because you come from that subject matter expert piece. So
I have another quick story I want to tell you. Around 2012 is when Google Plus was the thing back then, and they decided that they were going to have this thing called Hangouts and let people go live. And you had to have an invitation, much like Clubhouse, which we're going to talk about later, but you had to have an invitation, right? And I was just getting friendly with folks, and I got friendly with this young man, and he had access to it. And so I was like, wow, I would love to be on your show. And you know what I really want to learn about? It was something really super geeky. I said, I want to learn about Google Analytics and how to set up goals and stuff in Google Analytics. So, and it's Chris Lang, I'll give him a shout out. Oh, he doesn't do that stuff anymore. He actually does email stuff. But anyway, next thing I know, he was announcing on Google Plus, and we're going to have Ileane Smith on the show, and she's going to show us how to set up goals in Google Analytics. I'm going to show
like, let me learn this right quick.
I had to teach myself, guys, how to do it. Okay. And so just, this was my very first time ever going live. Okay. Wow. I had to go and teach myself how to do this, put together a little slide deck, probably in Google Drive or something, nothing fancy. And with the step-by-step how to do it. So I didn't even have time to be nervous. I didn't have time for all that camera shyness or any of that stuff. And Google at that time, it was always super duper easy, similar to the way we do on StreamYard now. Somebody gives you the link and you just go on, and that's it. It's just sometimes, guys, it's just that easy that you just really need to have some content and be able to present it in a way that connects with people, and you just have to do it. And I know a lot of folks, like I said, are afraid to get on camera, or they're not sure what to talk about. You can just talk. And true. Eventually,
we all talk.
Yeah, eventually you'll find out, just as I did when I thought I was going to talk about all these various topics. You'll find out what resonates with you and where your sweet spot is.
Hmm. I mean, that's a really good point that you make as well, in terms of technology, right? 'Cause I tell my parents, I tell them all the time. I got my dad a tablet for Christmas, and when they first turned to smartphones, and now he's got the tablet, I said, you can't break it. Right. So don't be afraid of the technology. Go ahead and use it. If something happens, I can reset it. We can do whatever, but don't be afraid to push all the buttons. Right. Get comfortable with it. And then from a story perspective, everyone's got a story to tell. Right. Everyone can talk about whatever they like, sports, business, technology, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And tools like, I mean, Google Hangouts was so cool because it really was. It was kind of the in crowd, right? And when you had that, you could, yeah, that was really good. And StreamYard, I think, does the exact same thing. It just makes it so easy for folks. All right, where's Christian Engage and Dan? We're not necessarily promoting, but I see you got the cup and the pillow. You see my cup back there too. We rocking the StreamYard family for sure. Um,
Yes.
but again, it's technology has gotten so much easier now to get your message out. No one has to build a website in Dreamweaver. No one has to know HTML anymore, right? You can use WordPress and just move things around organically and have a platform to put your message out. I think the barriers to technology have definitely come down significantly. Some are still there, and well, we need some of them there so we can still have kind of a job, right? So we can still have some things to do.
Right, right.
Um,
Hmm.
talk to me about what you're doing now. You hinted at Clubhouse, but talk to me about what are the new go-to apps, platforms, hardware, software, whatever the case may be
Okay,
that you're using now.
you kind of switched in the middle of that question.
I
We
did. That's me. Look, you got to keep up. Look,
So
I'm
I'm gonna
drinking
I'm gonna switch
high
it back on
octane
you
coffee.
and tell you that back when we were on Hangouts and all that, and you know, YouTube was has always been like my platform of choice. So even though I've tried tons of new things coming out, and
Yeah.
I've been talking about live streaming because I got bit by the bug when my friend Chris Lang let me on his show, right? And I started experimenting with different tools and apps. Some of them have gone away, and so we don't cry over that stuff because the connections that you make with people along the way are what's really important. So a
Yeah.
lot of the tools that we were using, have gone away, but the relationships are still there, right?
We do miss Meerkat and Hang With. We do miss those, but yeah, that's true. We've kept those.
Right. And you miss them because you miss the
Yeah.
feature set.
Yeah.
But if you've built a community, that community will follow you. And I always say in the background, guys, always be building an email list. And, I know this is kind of straying off topic a bit, but when we're talking about building a community, you don't want a platform to shut down, like Twitter has just announced that they're going to shut
Yeah.
down Periscope. Tons
Yeah.
of streamers still over there, believe it or not. And if they haven't been building a list, then folks don't know where to find them because now they all have to
Exactly.
scramble and figure out, and I've been preaching live streaming, since back in the day, but it wasn't until Facebook launched live streaming, and I want to say it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Hmm.
And that's when it started dawning on people. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I need to start live streaming. I'm like, yeah, I've been telling you that. I don't know
Look,
why.
you're walking around with this thing all the time. You might as well push the button and say go live and tell your story.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm glad to see that Facebook, it has, given people, made people excited about the whole concept of live streaming.
Hmm.
But YouTube has the most sophisticated content delivery. And I know, like right now, we're even
Hmm.
live on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn probably has a long way to go to even catch up with Facebook's sophistication. But Facebook has so far to catch up to get to where YouTube is, not just
Yeah.
for us as streamers, but also for the audience,
Yeah.
being able to fast forward, being able to pop out the video and send it to Chromecast, to your big screen TV, all that stuff. They've got little bits and pieces of it, but YouTube has always been at the forefront when it comes to that thing. And the other thing is, for us as content creators, the reason why I am so adamant about YouTube is because of the longevity of your content and how you build up that content library and how people are searching for it. And of course, they could be searching in Google or they could be searching on YouTube, and people looking for a solution, or they want to be entertained, or they want inspiration. They can find even your old videos, because if they go searching for your stuff on Facebook, guess what they're not going to find? Okay. Because Facebook doesn't
not very intuitive. Yeah.
They don't have a search engine. I use air quotes. My daughter always teases me about it. It's not really a search engine. So because YouTube and Google are both search engines, those are to me, that's the building block. Now, with that said, you asked also about tools and new tools that I use. And one of them that has been replacing Periscope, is there to support the Periscope community, is called Happs. And it's Happs.TV. And Happs, what's cool about Happs is that you can use it on your phone, whether it's Android, iPhone, or you can use it on your iPad, you can use it on your Mac, you can use it on your it's browser based. Similar to StreamYard. So the difference between StreamYard and Happs is the community. Like, you can use StreamYard, but you need to go out to your community on the various platforms. Happs already has a built-in community. There's people there that are just waiting for live streams to watch their friends' live streams, in addition to the fact that you also can multi-stream. And Happs is completely free for now. They're still in beta. They're nowhere near as stable as StreamYard. I'm not comparing it that way, but I just wanted to tell you guys about it because it's a newish tool that's on the scene and they're up and coming. But of course, StreamYard is rock solid.
That's good. Pretty much. Look,
I'm drinking the StreamYard Kool-Aid, y'all. Okay?
Hold on. We yeah, dog. Somebody better recognize it. We need to get some beta, some stock or something.
And they give us gave us a big cup to make sure that we had enough to last us through the stream. And now, really quickly, I do also have to give a shout out to my boys at Ecamm Live. And Ecamm Live is an application, but it's Mac only. Yeah. So I know that my audience, a lot of them are Mac users, but I probably met more Mac users through Ecamm than Mac users that I knew prior to Ecamm. Hi, Robert. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming. And so I knew that a lot of folks are on PCs and they just don't have, they're just not interested in having a Mac. So when I found out about StreamYard, actually Gage contacted me. So when I found out about StreamYard, I was like, this is something that I definitely want to explore and to introduce my audience to. And I'm just huge fans. And I just love how they have those three pillars with the stability and the ease of use and the professional
streams. That's it. Look, it just works, right? It just works. Yeah. And I say that, and again, we're rocking the merchandise, and we're preaching the goodness of them. But I'm going to expand kind of my production a little bit. So I'm probably going to do a handful of shows in StreamYard, but I also I took advantage of the Black Friday deals with Restream.io and Ecamm, right? And the reason that I'm going to do that is to not get complacent, right? So I actually want to stay aware and abreast of all the new technology out there. So I'll do a show maybe on Sundays or something using Ecamm. utilizing those features because I can use different attached hardware like a Stream Deck or something like that. But then do kind of these other types of engagements that are more straightforward, not less technical, but just more straightforward using StreamYard. Just again, because it's easy to use, looks professional, and it just works.
Oh, here's a question that came in, and I'm glad you mentioned the Stream Deck because anybody who doesn't know about the Stream Deck, make sure you
Got to get it. Got to get it.
I don't have it, and because I'm in my secondary setup right now, but I've got the big. I said, "Oh, I'll buy the 15 key. That'll be fine." Yeah, right. That thing's in the box. No, in fact, I'm going to give that one to my daughter, and I love I've got the big one, and sometimes I still don't think I have enough keys. On that Stream Deck.
I was reprogramming mine last night, as a matter of fact, too. Yeah, I got the XL as well. Yeah.
Okay, let's get Robert's comment here. You want to read it, James?
Yeah, so he says, Miss Ileane, if I may ask for 2021, what do you think is the big challenge for folks to utilize digital media with their marketing and or business efforts? That's a great question.
I think the biggest challenge that people are always perplexed by is, where should I go? What platform should I use? Where, there's so many different choices. Like I just went through a few of them. You've got your Facebook, you've got YouTube, and then everybody wants to have stuff on their website. Cause this is what we've always been told. So I just think that if you've got an existing audience somewhere already, start with that and then just keep building. Like just to say you have a Facebook page or a Facebook group. Because I'll even say a group, because when we're talking about a Facebook page, you're talking about spending money to get visibility, right? But let's just say you've got a Facebook group, or, it's easy to start a Facebook group for free. Okay. So you start building there. And then once you have figured out how to best utilize that group, find out what kind of content the folks are responding to, you can go live in that group and all that. Then maybe you want to go over to my favorite, YouTube, right? Let the folks know, because you don't want to be sitting there on YouTube and there's nobody there, right? But you've got this group, and you let your group know, hey, I'm going live over on YouTube. And then maybe, after you've done that for a while, because you've got to build up some a content library of videos on YouTube, and it doesn't have to be just live streams. Then you would branch out into your LinkedIn. So I think this is where people want to do everything, and you can't. You have to be patient, and I see that a lot of times, and some of it is the fault of content creators. I'm going to not slap myself on the wrist, but I'm going to slap someone.
Don't slap me.
Because the titles, how to grow fast, how to do this overnight, none of this stuff. I've been doing it since 2009. Okay. If you get locked
and Miss Ileane know what she's talking about. Y'all, I hope somebody listening. Look.
Okay, yeah. And since 2009, you know how many people I've seen just fall off? It just literally fall off. Like, I don't even know where they are. I don't even know how to get in touch with them. And they were big deals at the time, right?
Yeah.
So, because of burnout and all that stuff. And I don't want to see anybody, just pushing and pushing and pushing and hustling to get videos or to get content out. And they can't deal with the overwhelm of, feeding the machine. Just remember, guys, all of these platforms are offering us all these different features and options because they're fighting over us, because we're the product. We're the ones giving them the content, right?
That makes all the sense in the world. And the fact, I think I want to go back to something that you said as well. Each of these platforms, multi-streaming is fantastic, but your message resonates differently depending on which platform that you go to, right? So the message that you're putting out may not necessarily work as good on LinkedIn as it does in a Facebook Live group, right? If you're not focused on kind of business and strategy or best practices, that kind of thing, maybe that doesn't go on LinkedIn.
Right.
If you're more focused on some other things, like I would never post a sports show on my LinkedIn Live page, because again, that's a whole different audience. I will throw that on Twitch and Facebook and Periscope all day,
Right.
but
Now, wait,
being cognizant of that, right?
unless you're a sports executive.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So if you're a
Your audience,
sports
know your
executive,
audience.
and I say that because one of my extended family members, he's been in the sneaker industry since back in those way back, probably even before '09. So he does post things that are related to sports. He's not doing live streams, even though we're trying to convince him to. But but your point, James, is that you have to pick the place that's appropriate for your content. And in the beginning, you may not know what that is, and that's okay. Don't let that scare you. You know, but we're back to Robert's question. Is I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is that people just don't know where to get started. So my
Yeah.
response to that is, if you've already got an audience somewhere, start there. And if you don't, let's just say you don't have an audience, you're just starting out the gate, get a YouTube channel and
There you go.
answer every single one of the questions that your prospective audience would have. How do I do blank? When do I do blank? When do I not do blank? Who's blank good for? Who's blank not good for? Okay. All those questions. All right. And just keep, when I say cranking out videos, but I don't want you to, like I said, I don't want you to burn out, but know that it takes time. You've got to put in, it's like when you're saving in your 401k, all right? You don't just
Yeah, it is. Make it plain. Make it plain.
right. You don't just start off and then all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm retiring next week, y'all. No, you only got $40 in there.
Keep adding. Come on, let's do that.
Right.
Let's do that averaging. Now. Keep it moving. I love that. I love that. Look, see that you gained some subscribers on your side already there. So Shalala Productions, they said they hit the subscribe button on you. Got this question here also on LinkedIn. So you can connect your Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages to StreamYard. Yes, you can. And
No,
that is
yes,
actually how
I'm
I'm
sorry,
going out right now.
James. I'm sorry, James. Yes and no, because the word is there, but you skipped over it. Instagram. No.
Oh Lord. Well,
No.
hold on. Let's say, yeah, officially you can't. No, but I'm not doing that too. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
There's a workaround, but no one can go to Instagram. That's true.
Instagram has not officially
Properly.
opened the API, and I know there are people doing it, but
Don't do
honestly,
it. Don't mess with that other
don't mess
platform
with
that's allowing you to do it under the curtain. Yeah, don't do it. Don't
And
do it.
honestly, do you watch Instagram lives where people are like in landscape? Like, do you turn your phone? Like, I don't understand why people are so like, Instagram doesn't want you to go live from desktop. They don't want you to do it. Okay. Yeah. They're not literally shutting accounts down, even though they can, because their terms say that you can't. All right. But yes, as far as StreamYard, let's go over, James, all the places that we can connect with StreamYard. We've got.
So let's see. Right now, this show is actually streaming to Facebook. It's streaming to my Facebook brand page and my profile page. Streaming to LinkedIn, because I'm part of the LinkedIn Live group. It takes a little bit of time to get access into that, but I got that. YouTube, Periscope, which is Twitter, streaming to Twitch as well. So, and you can also do what's called a custom RTMP. So you can go out to a number of other platforms as well. So you can go to all the major platforms at the same time, multicast, multi-stream to darn near everywhere where your audience is, right from StreamYard.
Yep. And one thing, you mentioned Facebook, but I just want to also add, because right now you're just on your page and on your profile, but Facebook groups, because remember I was talking about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great place for people to start. And I know a lot of people want to go live on their profile, but let's face it, your cousins and Kakalaki, they don't care about your business thing or your digital media thing. And they'll probably come and, not spam the comments, but they'll probably be saying, "How's Aunt Effie doing?" Like, come on, man.
I've had that. I've had some of that. I don't put those on the screen, but I've had that in the past.
Here's another great question. I'll read this one. You can tape a show and then post them later, correct? Yes, you can. And now with StreamYard, let's say you record a show. You've recorded it. StreamYard has the capability to pre-record content. All right. And you can also play a pre-recorded video inside of StreamYard that's up to 10 minutes long. But this is important. Mm-hmm. This is important. Most platforms, you must let your audience know that they're looking at something that's pre-recorded if you're going to use StreamYard to distribute it as a live stream. Now, outside of that, you can just upload it, which is great. Make sure you have a great thumbnail, especially on YouTube, but even on Facebook. It'd be nice if you have a nice branded thumbnail with maybe your photo on there, and limit how many words you have in your text. I know everybody likes to get fancy and say all these things, and then they forget that people are on mobile and they don't have time to read all that stuff. So just limit that.
Attention span is short. Yes, true.
Yeah, and just make it attractive.
That's true. I mean, and so that falls into kind of one of the questions I was going to ask you as well. Kind of, what are some of the common mistakes that you're seeing kind of people make when it comes to promoting themselves on social media? And again, having the right wording, having the right color scheme, branding, right? Just having something that resonates with your message and you, right? I mean, if your colors are, I don't know, dark green and pink and blue all together at the same time, do you? But just recognize, right, that may be a little glaring for some folks. I mean, I'm down to kind of the hue lights that I use in the background for a specific reason, each of the zones here, just to make sure again that it's visually pleasing. Not everyone wants to look at me. Look, it's all about look at the stuff behind me. Don't look at me. But I completely agree with what you're saying there.
Yeah. Okay. So some of the mistakes that I do see is I kind of touched on it already a bit earlier, is that people get impatient. They get impatient and they'll start producing content on a given platform. And let's just say they tried 4 or 5 videos, or let's just not even talk about video. Let's just say you're putting out written blog posts on LinkedIn, okay? Or even on your own blog. And you've done 5, 6, 7, and they don't see any results, and they're like, that doesn't work. No, honey, you're not doing it long enough.
You gotta keep.
Sorry.
You gotta keep doing it. And here goes someone that's been doing it for a while. So let me put this picture. Right, you got to do it for a while. That's true.
Yeah, and actually, James, I'm glad you went over here, because this is my website, IleaneSmith.com. But this is not the first website that I built using WordPress. Okay. Actually, the website that kind of gave me a lot of popularity in the blogging community is called Basic Blog Tips. So if you go over to Basic Blog Tips, I don't blog there anymore.
That's you?
Basic Blog Tips. Yeah, so there's a couple others with different
I noticed. Oh, okay, because I know the site. That's you.
If you type in Basic Blog Tips, yes, because at some point I just only let guest authors post it. But I've got hundreds, literally hundreds of blog posts on Basic Blog Tips, and covering social media and YouTube and all the like. So if you just go to basicblogtips.com
Yeah.
and you'll see it there. And so anywho, yeah. And speaking of collaboration, that's something that I started doing there years ago. With letting guest authors contribute. So this is another way to keep from burning out. And this is a good question. Do people read blogs anymore? They actually do still read blogs. I just don't write them as much as I used to. And the reason why I know, and the reason why I wanted to mention that blog is, and it's an authority blog because every day I get emails of people asking me to guest post on that blog. Now, there hasn't been a new blog post on there in 2 years, almost 3 years. And I still get emails every day. And then they get mad, like, you haven't responded yet. No, I'm not.
Oh my goodness.
And then sometimes I just sit in I'm glad like Gmail was on the phone because all you have to do is go swipe, 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 just delete. And then I even told Gmail to filter out certain words like accepting guest posts. No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Put the date on there, you can see. So, but it took years and it took a lot of patience and it took a lot of content. And when I couldn't do it all myself, is when I started collaborating and offering the guest post. But I found that I had to really vet my guest post. I didn't just let people. So by the time I read your whole post, make sure everything was factual. Now, if at the time I should have probably had a VA. If I would have had a VA to do all of that, then I probably, but I didn't think about it. Now I have a VA.
Nice. Nice.
Because one thing I definitely want to leave you guys with the impression about is building the email list. And even though I've said that I don't, write as much as I do, I made sure I hired a VA to write those emails for me. And she's really, really good. So I just really have to scan them and I would just make a little change here and there. Oh, she should have put this link here. She should, but it's important to have that contact with your audience. And you'll see even a lot of these really popular bloggers or content creators. And I'll give you a good example, somebody I really, really like, and that's Pat Flynn. If you guys have seen him, he's being very dedicated, doing daily live streams, daily. And he's also huge on podcasting. But one time his site went down. I think it got hacked, but he had his email list. So he could email everyone and say, sorry, the site is down. It got hacked. We're going to get it fixed. And so
I love that. I would have gone to the website, but I should have plugged in my wireless keyboard. I should have changed the batteries. I knew it when I saw it this morning, and my keyboard is running out of battery. So I'm literally running everything with a mouse click right now. So I'm gonna need you to share screens if we do some share screens.
I'm gonna bring it up. I've been having problems with the host too, telling me that there's so much activity on the site, and I say to myself, yeah, well, I'm not worried about that.
That's a good problem to have. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Okay. So then are you building that list? Y'all saw that pop up, right? So, oh no, maybe you guys didn't see it yet. Are you sharing? Okay, there you go. So there's basic blog tips. And
I have been to this site and many years ago. So it's funny how worlds are colliding.
Yeah, these blog posts, and I'm just even looking at some of the guest authors there. They're not even around anymore. But look, if you see down here where it says how many pages you would scroll through, would be 96 just to get back to the beginning of back when I was doing all the writing here. So yeah. Yep. So I hope that I answered the question with that. I wasn't really so much trying to show off the website as I was trying to make the point that, it takes time, and
Mhm.
just continue with your content. Don't get discouraged. Just continue and know that it's a journey,
Yeah.
and be
Good point.
dedicated to it. And I think some more
Definitely.
comments came in. No, I think that was
We
a
got some random Twitch spam there,
yeah.
but that's all
Oh,
right.
that's quick.
Shout out to the Twitch community watching.
Hey,
I'm not
I have
mad
a
at you.
Twitch. I have a
I'm not
Twitch
mad at
channel as well, right?
you. I know.
Okay.
And and when I put new batteries in my keyboard, I will make sure in the show notes when I post this that I have all of those links
Okay.
for you as
Yeah.
well.
I
I'd
haven't
say
went live on Twitch as well recently,
okay.
but just because it's just so much
It's
stuff.
different. I
Yeah.
would just say it's definitely it's a different audience for sure. It's all right. It's my 16-year-old son is out there. That's his vibe, right? He's out there doing the gaming and all. Then you get kind of some comments like that are showing up here in the back of the house. But
Yeah,
all
but
right, it's all
I'll
right.
tell you how to. I'll tell you how to, because what I have my channel set. First of all, just to clarify, I don't do gaming. I do my same content that I do everywhere else. It's just over on Twitch because they are trying to encourage folks that are not gamers. But I have
Mhm.
mine set though that first of all, you have to follow my channel for at least 10 minutes before you can post, and you can't post links, none of that. So
Okay.
they've got
Okay.
moderation inside of Twitch,
Okay.
it's.
Okay.
But yeah, but
I
it's
haven't taken the time to go that deep into that one.
yeah,
Okay. Good.
it's a good platform, but also, guys, and I'm not sure if any of you are doing product reviews or you're familiar with like
Mhm.
unboxings and all that,
Mhm.
but Amazon even has live streaming. You have
Yes.
to be an Amazon influencer. So this is where building these little social networks is important, because in order to be an influencer, you've got to have like certain amount of subscribers on YouTube or
Mhm.
certain amount of followers on Instagram. Then you could be an influencer, which will give you a landing page. But then at the bottom of that landing page will be your videos. If or you can go live, and you can even upload videos there showing off products. Now, of course, the videos that are on Amazon are strictly you talking about a product that is available for
Right.
sale on Amazon.
Right.
but, but yeah,
That's don't talk about Best Buy when you stream it on Amazon. That's true.
right.
That's don't do that. Don't do
But
that.
they sell everything. So there's really no limit,
Yeah.
except maybe Teslas. I don't think they sell that.
I bought some accessories there, but I haven't bought yet.
Yeah.
One thing that's really cool about Amazon, then I'll ask the next question, but the fact that you can go live for Amazon through your mobile device. That is so convenient as well, right? You're unboxing, you open up a microphone or whatever, and you can literally have your
Yes.
phone instead of having to be all over that's pretty convenient, and that just shows that they are listening to the influencer community of how they want to effectively get the message out, right?
I've done that as
So
well. So, do you mind if I screen share again really quickly?
you, look, I'm just here in your world. I'm just trying to roll. I'm trying to get in the club, and I'm gonna drop Miss Ileane's name. I'm here with her. Oh,
So here you go. You would go over to amazon.com/shop /Ileane Smith. You have to put the Smith there, right? Somebody else got there. And these are like my little collections, well, you guys don't know, but I am a new grandmother. So I've got all
love
the
it,
stuff I
love
buy
it.
for my grandson, and I've got my live streaming gear. My books reading is fundamental and all that. But then at the bottom here, you see these are the videos that I've done, and you can click on a view all my past live streams. And I know there was one that I did when I was on my phone, Clean with Ileane, where I showed
Mm,
off
mm, mm,
my
mm.
little vacuum cleaner that I love to use and all that. And it was a janky video, to be honest with you. But I did the experience, and I wanted to know what it was like so I could come back and tell you guys. Because like I said, I show you what button to push.
Love it. She said her janky video. Hey, but you influencing out there on Amazon, and you getting that you get that message out. I love that. I love that.
And Robert, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. He thought I said a VA. No, a V8. No, a VA, virtual assistant. And actually, she's in the U.S. Like my daughter has a VA, but she lives in the Philippines, but she speaks fluent English. And my VA though is right. In fact, she lives in Boston. My VA.
Nice,
But
awesome. Let me ask you about this. This is an amazing conversation. Again, I want to be cognizant of your time because I know you got some things. We hinted on Clubhouse, but I don't know if I want to talk about that right now.
okay.
Because I'm gonna be selfish and I'm asking questions for myself now.
Okay.
Where do you see kind of the trends going, kind of in the short term for digital media, digital publishing, digital technology? Where do you see kind of folks that are in our seat leaning towards?
Yeah. Oh, you mean as far as content creators, or as far as the space in general?
I think both, right? I mean,
Okay.
again, so the selfish part is kind of for us, the ones that are behind the camera and setting up the environments, and then also for our audience as well.
Okay, so we are going to touch on Clubhouse then, because what I see coming, and it's been coming for a long time, is the audio, the focus on audio.
Yeah.
All right. So of course we love video, and I love audio too. I've been podcasting as well. I started podcasting back in 2009 as well. Right.
Okay.
But there's always going to be a new startup app. There's just this thing with startups. People, they just got to find some new tool that is going to entice all the content creators.
Yeah.
To draw us in. So this is what's going on with Clubhouse right now. It's a phenomenon because there's the audio piece to it, yet it's completely ephemeral. So it brings together like this whole concept of stories, which everybody's got stories now. You know, YouTube even has stories. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
We all know Snapchat is the one that started with stories, right? So this whole concept of this ephemeral content that just goes away. But even with stories, they stay around for at least 24 hours. But really, the Clubhouse brought together this concept of you have got to be there. So it's created serious FOMO. There are people who are out here right now standing in line trying to buy an iPhone because they're on Android. And they
you talking, that's it. You are telling the truth.
And so, and it's a different demographic. Okay, because someone asked about younger demographic. I haven't seen a lot. When I say younger, I haven't seen like teenagers. I don't know if there's a rule that says you have to be a certain age. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter, because people violate them rule. It's not like you got to show ID at the door, right? But the conversation is deep.
Yes.
And the content, it goes deep. So it may not be a good fit for some of the younger folks. It just all depends upon the maturity level, as far as teenagers and so forth. But and I'm just using that as an example. It's not about Clubhouse, guys. What I'm saying is that the trends kind of follow we as content creators, like I said earlier, they keep making tools for us. So they have these focus groups, and they ask you, what would you want to see in an app? And so you've got to, and then there's just artificial intelligence is the other thing. And, voice, like I've got my Alexa behind me. Actually, I can say the word Alexa because I changed my wake word to Echo.
Oh, there she go, right behind. I saw her wake up.
Yeah. Okay, because of that. Because a lot of times people are, they don't think that when they say that word, it triggers their device. So, you can walk around the house and you don't have to have a remote control in your hand. You can just walk around like turn this on, turn that on, brew me some coffee,
Too easy.
So
Look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. So my wife, I'm gonna tell you how bougie I am right now. my wife, and it's along those lines. My wife got me one of those iRobot vacuums.
Zumba. Oh, my daughter has it
for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Look, I set that thing to go off at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and look, and I got kind of in trouble this morning because the vacuum was going. But I went out and bought me another one the very day after Christmas. So we got one downstairs and one upstairs.
One upstairs. That's right.
I got robots vacuum in my house now.
Yes. Right? If we could get them to take out the trash. Ooh, we're being business.
and I named them after my kids, right? Because Jordan and Isaiah, and the real ones aren't going to be doing it, so I make the robot vacuums do it. I'm sorry. There you go. See, I'm just throwing you off.
So no. That's what I mean. It's the trend of this voice activation. And using voice for content creation and content consumption. Of course, we've been doing it with podcasting all these years, but there's just going to keep iterating on that. So, like right now it's Clubhouse, but then maybe the next app that comes out just takes it to the point where it tries to figure out what you're going to say even before you say it, There's all kinds of, even on Instagram, there's Instagram models that are robot. They're completely created through graphics, CGI and all that. Like what? That's a thing. When I found that out about a year ago, and I'm like, are you kidding? They've got millions of followers. I'm like, what is wrong with people? But it's not that. It's not me. I'm just, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. I mean, I don't follow Instagram models anyway, even the real ones. But, but, it just goes to show that this is where, it's the blending of what's going on with virtual reality, augmented reality, and using voice and all that. And with our content creation, because even like Facebook has that portal, and they keep trying to push this Oculus, where you put on this headset, and there's all kinds of AR and VR stuff. So that all those things are just going to keep converging and overlapping. And as soon as Facebook builds a tool, YouTube's going to copy it. Or Amazon, because Twitch, we were talking about Twitch, right? Amazon owns Twitch. So they're going to copy it. And in the meantime, you've got this startup community that's building these little tools, hoping they get acquired by one of the big boys, right?
That's true. Right. And that's the end of the day. I think what they're all trying to do, to be honest with you, build something great and build this community that latches on, and then sell it to Microsoft or sell it to Jeff Bezos, right? That kind of thing.
Because that's what my friends at Anchor did. Anchor is a free podcasting host, but it started off, believe it or not, very similar to Clubhouse. In the beginning, you would just leave audio messages. So it wasn't real time, but you could put your thoughts out there in audio and people can respond to you in audio. And then they called them waves. And then one day they said, oh, we're going to start doing podcasting. And all my podcasting friends, a lot of them have been around the podcasting industry a long time. And they're like, oh, that's not going to last. It's a free podcasting host. We've seen those hosts come and go. Nobody knew that they were shopping that thing over there to Spotify. So when Spotify bought Anchor, so now, we don't have to worry about Anchor going away. And so guys, you gotta like look ahead. This is why I think Clubhouse is going to be around for a while. And of course, there's even Clubhouse rooms where they're talking about what's the future of Clubhouse. It's like, calm down.
It's still in beta. Hasn't even fully launched yet, right?
Right. They didn't even release it on Android yet. Y'all don't know. But people just like to talk and speculate. But what I trying to impress on you is to kind of just look at the trends of trying to serve us, those folks who create content.
Mhm.
And in a way, we're separate from folks that only want to consume content. And so,
Mm.
in our given realms, all right.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, people like may watch gaming, may never, ever, ever want to do a game. They'll play Madden sports or whatever,
Mhm. Mhm.
but then they may want to do a business live stream. Okay. So you
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? So
That's
it's
true.
it's
No.
in the given realm of, like I listen to my flash briefings on my Alexa. And even though on podcast, I don't want to create my own flash briefing.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'll listen to them all the time. Okay. So it's all about choosing your lane, knowing that, making yourself, or should I say, educating yourself about all the different ways that you can put your message out there or explore your passion
Mhm.
and put that message out, or build an audience, build a following, thinking about all the different ways. Don't close your mind off and say, I'm not going to be on Twitch because that's just for gamers. You just never know.
Never know.
You
That could
never
be the
know.
one that you just explode on, and you just
Mhm.
never know.
Yep.
I love that. I love that. Me
Okay. Oh,
ask.
Robert's
Oh,
making some
see,
great.
we got some folks interested in Clubhouse, and I'm glad you gave that perspective, right? Because it's so simple that it just makes sense, right? Because again, it's conversations and it's audio, and there's no likes, there's no DMs, there's nothing all that stuff. It's just really having conversations. Look, I was up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning last night in a Clubhouse room with the Ecam family, and we were going in and we were talking about helping people and strategies and stuff. And I was like, this is where it's at. And
Yeah. And
then I got, like I said, I got some Android folks that they're doing the exact same thing you were saying. How do I get into this? I'm like, hey,
on
you need to make that switch.
go get an old iPhone. Go get one on eBay. You don't have to buy the 12. And also, someone said, so I can create my own flash briefings. Yes, you can. And Amazon
Mhm.
has something called blueprints. Look up, just go
Oh,
to Google and type in Amazon blueprints to show you
okay.
how to set up a skill. Because in Amazon, like when we're used to our iPhone, we go into the App Store. On Google, we go into the Google Play Store. But and they're called apps. But on
Yeah.
Amazon, they're called skills. It's the same as an app. And Amazon has set up a website called Amazon Blueprints to show you how to set them up.
Interesting. I will be checking that out. See, I'm learning. This is selfish. Everybody that's listening and watching, that's all the extra gravy right now. This just I'm over here since my keyboard stopped working. I'm over here writing down actual notes.
Yes. So,
That
just guys, just know that this is the best time, for us as creators to just have our choice, that we can pick and choose what kind of content we want to create. We can be successful with it, whether it's audio, video, or live streaming, or static video, or short videos, these short stories, these, TikTok and all that.
Mhm.
It doesn't even have to be about business or about, it could just be about something that's fun, and you could still wind up getting paid because they're offering brand deals for folks who
That's true.
are doing well on TikTok.
That's
So
true.
be kind to your audience, love them and they'll love you back.
I love that. I love that. And yeah, that kind of resonates here as well with what Robert was asking and saying. I think so. Final question, and let me ask this, and this is kind of back towards you specifically for 2021. What's on your vision board, right? What are you looking to get accomplished with either IleaneSmith.com or your YouTube channel, or just some of your activities? What's on that board for this year?
Yeah, I want to do more collaborations. I want to get connect with as many people. It could be one on one. It could be in a group. Uh, like I love the group that uh, Doc Rock and
Hmm.
Diana Gladney put together, the Let's Get Live
Yes.
group over on Facebook. But I just want to be able to collaborate with as many of the some folks will be wanting to learn just like you're like taking notes. And then there'll also be times when I'll jump in a Clubhouse room and I'm the one taking all the notes. Somebody said collaboration is two L's, but but collaborate. That's what's on my vision board. Years ago, people talk about New Year's resolutions and things like that. So years ago, I stopped smoking cigarettes.
Mhm.
Then there was another time when I did something else. I can't even remember what it was. And guys, I'm not young anymore. So it's kind of like I've already proven that I can just like, oh, I'll just stop smoking cigarettes. And then I did it cold turkey too. And
Okay.
I was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Wow. Okay.
And it was just like, and now it's even hard for me to get those words. I mean, you smoke cigarettes? Like I'm talking like 25, 30 years ago that I stopped smoking cigarettes. Okay. So, it's all about like what you do on a day to day today.
Mhm.
And that's where I like to be. I don't like to say, okay, this is the benchmark. It happened on January 1st, 2021. No,
Right.
it could be like tomorrow I decide that, hey, I'm going to stop eating potato chips. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just
Mm. Don't do that to yourself. Lord have mercy. Look,
I was
don't do
just
that to yourself.
I was just saying if I had a vision board, that would be on it. But since I don't have one,
You don't hurt yourself over there. You're gonna cut out all the good stuff.
right? But yeah, so guys, I just want you guys to think you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for the new year or your
Mhm.
birthday just that morning when you wake up and say, "Hey, I'm going to change. I'm going to develop a new habit." Whether that new habit is, reading or writing, or I'm going to go live every day for the
Yeah,
next week, month, year. Just do it.
love it. Dropping gems. Oh my goodness, dropping some fire here this morning. Miss Ileane Smith, thank you so much for your time. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank you
much
for
for
having me
blessing
on.
us.
Yeah,
Definitely.
thank you. And you helped me get started on my collaborate.
There you go. There you go. Right.
My
Shake it off
little-
on day two of the year. So I appreciate you. I will, like I say, I will make sure that folks know where to catch you online so they can reach out individually if necessary. Your website, your YouTube channel, your Amazon influencer page, things of that nature. So other than that, I would just say have a blessed day. Be good to yourself. And again, thank you for spending some time with us today.
Okay. And as always, I always say when I leave, stay beautiful.
Ah, love it. Be good, y'all.